could sound. "Why don't you come back after school?" she suggested to the spirit. "I'll help you then." She could at least point him to some other relatives if his mother was no longer around. The boy stared blankly at Calista, maybe forgetting the concept of mornings and going to school. She pointed toward the window. "You go," she said clearly, "and I'll summon you when I get home." He nodded, disappointed but seeming to understand. And then the boy evaporated. Calista sat there a moment, the room warming now that the spirit was gone. She was tempted to lie back down, sleep that extra 15 minutes. But it would take her at least that long to fall asleep again. It was time to start the day. She got out of bed and headed toward the shower, yawning as she scratched at her messy black hair. In a week, I won't have to deal with dead boys anymore, she thought. But the second it crossed her mind, grief lay heavy on her chest. She could dress up the idea all she liked, but Calista didn't want to lose her gift. It was part of who she was. She'd be losing herself. Calista Wynn had discovered she was a medium the same way most mediums did, as a child. In Callista's particular case, in the bathtub, just as a ghost began massaging shampoo into her hair from behind. That extra set of fingers, touching hers through the suds. That moment of confusion. Are these my fingers? Are these... Followed by screaming, shouting, and a dead woman smiling at her from the floor of her bathroom in a Victorian-era burial dress. Oh, yeah. That was the fun part. Sometimes ghosts could touch her. After that, Calista began seeing ghosts all the time. She'd known it was coming, of course. She was descended from a long line of mediums on her father's side. It was weird enough, being from a family that talks to ghosts. But even weirder was that, although they were powerful, the only spiritual mediums left in the Wynn family were the children. Callista's grandmother claimed it started after she lost her daughter many years ago. But Callista's mother, Nora, who didn't possess any supernatural gifts, suggested it was more likely something in their genes. Either way, there was one hard truth that had become apparent. At 13 years old, all of the mediums in the Wynn family lost their ability to see ghosts. It had happened to Callista's father, Mac, and to all 5 of his younger siblings. And soon, it would happen to her. Sure, the Wynn still had other gifts, other intuitions, but the ghosts stopped appearing to them. Calista had one more week of seeing ghosts until her birthday. And then... well, she didn't want to think about then. "Molly," Calista called, fighting back another yawn. "It's time for school." She knocked on her little sister's bedroom door at the same time she opened it. Molly was 6 years old. The kind of 6 where she talked like a mini-mom, reading picture books to a party of stuffed bears, reminding Calista to do the dishes, and... Calista stood frozen in the doorway of her little sister's bedroom. The sheets were folded back neatly, but Molly was nowhere in sight. Logically, Calista knew that Molly had probably gotten up and poured herself some cereal, munching on Lucky Charms and watching the local news until cartoons came on. But that wasn't her way. Molly could sleep like the dead, her mother always quipped. Molly had to be dragged from her bed every morning, no exceptions. Mediums slept hard, and Molly was just about ready to come into her gifts. Unlike the abrupt ending of the gift, the beginning of a medium's power started slowly. Certain feelings emerged, and ways of knowing things they shouldn't. And then, one day, a ghost would just appear to them. Unsettling, sure, but also exhilarating. Molly hadn't seen any ghosts yet.